with this kind of hub idea. In the center of the hub, by virtue of job description, are Rosemary and Manny. And come on now.
Left me hanging already.
So coming out of this hub, though, is what is almost what already exists, is an advisory team that helped advise these 2 days. It includes a lot of department heads and 2 of the county supervisors. The one addition that we brought to it was some kind of youth advisory team member. But what we feel like is important is that these advisory team people can bring other folks in through the little clip here. So depending on what's being tackled in that particular meeting, they should be able to bring in SMEs, subject matter experts, that may be other people in their department. It may also be community members from the different collaboratives, from cities, from nonprofits. So all of these folks are SMEs that are brought in at different times. And then it may be a SME that leads a work group, depending on the issue that, again, is of county folks and other people involved. And I'm going to let Rosemary explain our community of nerds and raisins.
In 10 seconds. So basically, in everything that we do, we have to be consistent with our linking back to community, because they are a critical part of why we're doing this to begin with. And that they be either, whether it be with information sharing, looking at all the other areas that we're talking about, but making sure that they're at the table in some way, even if it's not directly in that advisory group, but in all of the work groups in the different areas that we're working together, and that they're always a part of it.
So what do you like about it?
I like the clothespins that are making the linkages that connect to other things.
Great. And that it expands out into the community.
Okay. We're making assumptions that there is no new money. We're making assumptions that we need to allocate strategically. So what we would like to do is identify ways in which we can blend and leverage the resources that we already have. So we need a finance guru, somebody that just focuses on knowing how to do just that, taking those resources. We have a police here, and not that we want to run our colleagues out of a job, that's not the intent, but we know that if we're successful in preventing violence, there's not going to be a huge need to invest here. So reallocating the resources to the organizations that are doing the prevention work, both within the county and with our community partners, schools, cities, etc. So setting up an office with those individuals who then get paid by the savings and the reinvestments that are taking place, and allocating them strategically to prevention activities. That's what we came up with.
Wonderful. So what do you like about this model?
I like the guru thing, and looking at the savings, looking at how the money is spent, and that guru being I'm assuming a sort of neutral party, not tied to any particular organization.
Right.
Interesting.
That being neutral. Great. Anyone else want to build on a part of this or something they like?
I like that you have agencies that are represented in this and making sure that it looks like a team. It's a team approach. Solving the solution, yes.
And we were thinking sustainability. So by having this, you're sustaining it, whether or not there's new funds that come in to the county.
Great. Thank you.
Assess and determining marketing strategies for different populations. And so of course you have to start with data, so that's another group, but we would, the kinds of things we'd be looking for would be having focus groups so we would hear from the community and our constituents who it is that we're actually trying to communicate with. Maybe use census information, school data, surveys, and we feel like then that leads through our arrows pointing through, then we figure out our marketing strategies, including communication tools. Keep it simple, use, whoops, I'm gonna fall here, computer, use, technology, go door to door, make sure it's multilingual, use print media, social media, newsletters, to our targeted audiences, use broadcast media, and then we just wanted to point out that we have a diverse audience, and there's just, people that work on farms, people that are wherever, hanging out and having fun, and so just the information just has to keep flowing.
Awesome.
I love that.
Wow.
That's simple too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to get to lunch really quick. What do you like about it?
Come on.
simple.
Diversity.
Included diversity.
Yeah, diverse audience.
Diverse audience and diverse
Well,
methods.
diversity of the message.
And
to
diverse
different
sources of
platforms.
media.
And diverse sources of data.
To reach different audiences.
Really nice dark background.
Actually, that's what I was thinking. It's the background.
It's very
I
soothing.
like that.
Well,
The color choices are excellent.
Feedback,
And it's coordinated.
I would add feedback on the
okay, that's good.
Just kind of put the other side of the arrow on, right? Like,
arrow coming.
The two, both directions.
Arrow
Well,
coming
yeah,
back.
we were working on a short time. They begged for more time, I said no.
That was a cost-cutting measure, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Couldn't afford arrows in both directions.
Yeah,
Both of
I
us
think we can just
stretched.
flip the arrows around.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
It can be in action.
All right, this is an action
Great,
model.
and it's malleable, and it's changeable, it's
Yeah,
flexible. Yes,
that's actually-
excellent.
That's a really great one to
A
add.
gap on this on the fly. That gets the highest points.
They like that, huh?
That's great.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Processes, it's not a singular issue. Talking about the fact that you have system structure about how to integrate information, and you have data tracking and the identification of indicators. So we have to have bridges along the parallel process that move along the way to keep us connected. So moving along, you have to make sure that the different agencies are coming together to identify the existing sources, talk about how you're going to join and or find other ways to gather information, making sure you have an effective theory of change, coordinating what you're doing.
As a bridge between the two parallel roads.
Because you have community and agencies coming together, identifying those risk factors, protective factors, pieces that need to be involved in that you need to measure. And as you move this forward, you're identifying yet other bridges along the process of having agreements that need to be made, or specific ties or modified structures so you can make this move forward. We identified that we get stuck here because we look at resource alignment for accomplishing the goals. But this is where our barriers hit, so we spin here a lot of the time. So we have to overcome these barriers so we can move faster down the road to our
Application of the indicators to our system, and then coming down here, we have to have a loop so that the system can refine itself back up, and testing it, and then up here on the reports come back. And that means also coming back to the community, because over here we have community as part of the development of the indicators. And overall, as you move down, you get to have.
You have cake when
That's because we have experienced it. And we
live that.
using Senge's theory of systems, we have to figure out what that is to get our
We've
system
gone
on.
over waterfalls a few times.
Yes.
Love the parallel tracks.
Setting
Yeah.
benchmarks and assessing and reassessing.
But what would we fit?
What would you build on?
Well, I like having what you learned goes back into the process.
Great.
I think the person
Reinvesting the resources.
on the boat needs a fishing rod.
Oh. Because you
Empty
never know
handed.
what might be out there that you don't know about, that you need to
No,
bring.
notice the person in the boat doesn't have any oars.
Oh, yeah.
He's going downstream, obviously.
Anyone want to add anything else? Great, excellent.
We took on the, what was it, Vince? The board is gone.
Capacity building.
The backbone.
Capacity.
And one of those was capacity building, staff training. And we thought about the different ways to do training and the modalities to do a training. And so when you look at training, we want to make sure that as you follow the yellow brick road, what does that mean?
It could, and a lot of the trainings that I've liked that I've gone to have used mixed media. It's been some videos, some youths telling their stories, some digital stories, but that idea over here as we head down and continue to train, because you can't just have a couple trainings, you got to continue. Something emotional, get the people out of their head and into their hearts, using art, using play like we are today.
Using webinars, making sure if we're using webinars, we're having participation at the end.
And when you do them in a group, you don't want to sit alone on your computer where you're looking at your phone. Do them in a group.
Where you're brainstorming, you're actually coming up with solutions. And then in a lot of trainings that we do, we bring in professionals that are research and have expert, whether it's evidence-based practices that we've done. Okay.
Time's up.
10 seconds, actually.
10 seconds to get your.
Okay. And so, following up trainings, we know that you cannot just have one training. You need booster. You need ongoing. You know that staff leave and other people come in. So it has to be a continuum of training.
And use and train the trainers so you don't lose your staff.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any feedback? We want feedback. Good. What was a good idea? What you want to build on?
I like the yellow brick road. Everyone knows it. It's visceral. It makes you feel like you're going down the path, the right way.
Off to see the wizard.
And the
That's
fact is that on that yellow brick road, it was a team approach to get there. So I think that's important.
Because it takes a scarecrow,
And I like the heart, because a lot of this work is that.
Great. What would you like to build on? Where can you envision a part going in another direction or building off of? Anyone?
I like that we mentioned the train the trainer idea, where it also gives county staff a chance to grow while they're doing this process. And yeah,
great. Okay, thank you.
Yay! Ours was about the coordinated county message. And the first image that came into our head was trickle up, trickle down, make sure the message is going in all directions. That input from the bottom goes up to the top, so we used colors. The message is the source. The message is the source, and the source is the water, and the water has heart. The message has heart, so we stuck the heart in there. And in the swamp there, in the pond, you see the colors of all the different collaborators, all the people coordinating, and the community is around the edges. So the birds and the bees, the people making the babies, they're in all the community. So that's why they're birds and bees. And they're cross-pollinating, so they're flowers. You see we have the flowers in there too, so the cross-pollination with the birds and the bees and the flowers. And so the idea is that we have somebody and their ideas are coming out and going into the source, and the ideas are coming up and going into the source. And so we want the message to be central once it's crafted and centralized, and we figured out how we're going to communicate it. We want to make sure that there's flow in all directions, and so that's the idea, just flow in all directions. So that's it.
Great, thank you. What do you like?
That's great. What do we like?
Anybody else?
I like the flow of information. It's spread out all different directions.
And the cross-pollination.
Yes.
We included community.
I like that, and then but that there is a part of the message that is kind of held on to.